Welcome to my garden. Today was the perfect day to come play in the garden because it rained all day. I don't know if you can see this, but this is super muddy and I've got some amazing plants growing, but I also have a tremendous amount of weeds growing. These don't belong in the garden. So I was kind of coming in here and cleaning up, but I'm a little concerned because I've never had this big of a garden all by myself or someone to ask questions with. So I'm pretty certain this is a tomato. What I'm not certain of...
What is going on?
Oh my gosh! Squirrelington! We haven't seen you in weeks!
What are you doing?
I'm trying to figure out what in my garden is a weed and a plant. Are you any good with that?
This is a complete disaster. What is that?
Okay, well, here's the deal. I tilled it. My friend came over and helped me till it, and then the day after we tilled it, a maple tree came and seeded the whole area. So I keep picking up what is between weeds and seeds, and some of my weeds
are there acorns? I love acorns.
I don't have any acorns. I have black walnuts.
Oh, I like those.
Yeah, I got a couple of those. I can put them in a pile for you. But Squirrelington, what do I do if I can't tell if it's the plant or if it's the weed?
That's tricky.
I guess I was kind of thinking that maybe I would let it grow a little bit longer and then I would be able to tell. But if I pull them now, I'm afraid I might, I know this one's a weed. I know this isn't good, but like this one, that could be my carrots. I don't know yet. It's too early to tell. That is tricky. Maybe if you guys know, you can comment and help me out. I know here I have what will turn into cucumbers. And over here I have peas, and my peas aren't doing so good. And that needs a lot of focus. And I think sometimes...
What's a pea?
A pea.
Where's the pea?
Right there, look at those. Those are my green peas, and they're not doing hot. Everything else is doing really great, so I don't need to give them a lot of attention right now, but I really need to focus on what's hurting over here. So I'm gonna have to research. I left the stick in, and on the back it has instructions, so I'm gonna really try and learn and listen and figure out more about that so I can help it out, because they're not doing great. This whole garden makes me think of what God says the world is like. There's a story found Matthew chapter 13. It's called the parable of the weeds and seeds. Have you ever heard this parable? It goes like this. In the day, a sower came and planted his whole field full of wheat. And in the night, the enemy came and planted a bunch of weeds. So in the morning, they saw both weeds and the wheat. And the people said, hey, should we go pull up the weeds? And the master said, no, definitely not, because you might accidentally pull up the wheat at the same time. He said, at the end of the age, I am going to gather up all the wheat and put them in my barn. And then I'm going to take all the weeds and they'll be separated. So when you look at this garden, it's kind of a lot like the world. It can look like a big old mess. It's hard to see what is good plant and what is weeds. And it's hard to take care of everything, but we have to focus on, at times, what is hurt most and get that to thrive along with everything else. Sometimes the world is very similar to that. Do you want to go inside and do a project with us today? All right, let's do it. Sometimes the world just can look like a mess, can it? And sometimes we don't always even know what we can do about the mess that's out there.
What's our project?
So our project is something really cool. So each of you got 4 sunflower seeds, maybe 3, but hopefully 4. This is not a project that is even remotely going to just take a day. What we're going to do is you're going to go outside and you're going to fill this cute little mini terracotta with mud from outside. What is going to happen if they use outside mud, Squirrelington?
Oh, there's going to be probably some weeds and stuff that grow.
There is. So you're going to have to watch the weeds grow amongst your sunflower seeds. But your sunflower seeds are going to get a head start, because what you're going to do is you're going to put them on top of your mud pile and you're going to get them wet and you're going to put them in a sunny spot. And sunflower seeds grow pretty fast. You'll see them sprout within 1 to 4 days. And then once it fully sprouts and you see a little tiny white stem, then you can put it inside the mud and keep it wet. Now don't overwater it, right? Because that's bad. but you just want to make sure it keeps moist. And if you see any of those little weeds, you pop them out and you keep protecting your sunflower seeds. You know what's really cool about a seed?
What?
Do you know what happens to a seed in order for it to grow?
No.
The seed has to die. This outer shell is going to fall off, and then something new is going to be made. And that is one of the beauties of God. When we surrender ourselves and we give ourselves over to God's goodness, He makes something new, which is why He's so specific not to pull weeds amongst the wheat, because He wants no one to perish. He is always waiting for you to grow. And once we grow really big, we grow fruit of our own. Our actions become so good in such a way that it impacts and benefits others. So your plant holder, you can paint. In the first craft we ever did, you were given a stick, and some of you were given a paint, or you can use paint from home. And if you want to decorate your pot, you can. You could use markers, you could use crayons, or you could just let it be and see what happens. But that is your project. And while you're watching your seed grow, you tease me for this, but when you have a plant, talk to your plant. Encourage your plant. Even pray for your plant. They will grow and they will thrive when you do that. Just like humans, we grow and we thrive when we are encouraged. Enjoy your project, even though we have to live amongst weeds. We are so blessed that God never stops working with us and waiting for us. He says, I wait so that no one should perish. He is always with us, even though bad stuff just continues to go on, and He has a greater plan. So, I cannot wait to speak with you guys again next week and see all your beautiful projects.